Hey guys, Coach Austin here and I am back. It's been a long time since I did my last video. Been a crazy year, was very busy with my own stuff. But anyway, I'm back, and before we kickstart with today's video, just want to share with you guys a little bit about the type of content that I will be producing in the future. So every week I will be selecting a topic for the week and creating a long form video talking about it. So if you are viewing this from my Instagram, it will be a snippet of it. Head over to my YouTube channel to watch the longer video. I will be taking Q&A session as well, so if you got any question, feel free to send it this way and I can discuss it, sharing my opinion on it in my next video. So that being said, let's get started. So in this week's video, the topic is obstacle training for beginners. So there are some issues that I notice most beginners encounter when they first start obstacle training. Some of it are like the fear of obstacles, specifically the fear of falling. Another example would be some of us take a longer time to acquire a skill. So learning an obstacle is a skill. So there is a learning curve. Some of us fast learner, we can take a session and learn everything, where some of us could take a couple of sessions just to get a foundation right. So another issue is that, are we able to perform under stress? Don't think about stress as in an obstacle setting, when there's lots of music. It could be as simple as when you want to film yourself traversing an obstacle. You learn all the right technique, you got everything down, and when you ask your friend to point a camera at you, you forget everything. I will be sharing some tips with you guys on how to overcome it, all this stuff. So the first tip is called step learning. Now, before we begin, take note that the technique or method that I'm showing you guys are not limited to obstacle training or limited to a specific obstacle. It can be applied to almost every other sports as well, be it golfing, be it dart, be it throwing a basketball into the hoop. It can be transferable. Alright, this method can be used on across other sports as well. So the first one is step learning. Step learning is basically taking a skill and break it up into micro digestible bites. So let's take the multi-ring as an example. Ring 1 to ring 2. So just from ring 1 to ring 2, you can break that into multiple steps. So step 1 could be as simple as hands on the ring, lean back, maintain tension, and swing, land 50 cm in front of you. That's it. That's step 1. Now other coaches might have other technique, but once again, this technique I'm sharing with you guys, this method can be applied through other sports as well, other techniques as well. So step 2 is same thing, apply step 1, tension, lean back, swing, add in a rotation. Don't even think about the second ring. Don't even look at the second ring. Swing, rotate. That's it. That's step 2. Step 3, you add in a gentle tap on the third ring. Don't even think about grabbing it. Step 4, grab onto the ring. Don't think about letting go of the first ring. So this is how we break down perform step learning. Break it down to mini digestible bite. Learn each step at one time. Once you're comfortable, once you're confident, move on to the next step. This is gonna help you overcome the fear of obstacle, the fear of falling, help you learn the obstacle faster as well. Okay, now second thing I want to point out is do not rush through the process of learning. When I'm teaching obstacle, when we're learning the rope climb, when we're learning the multi-ring, whatever it is, people have a tendency of rushing to climb up the rope. So if you don't have a good foundation, if you have so much mistake with your technique, by rushing through the process, you are kind of encouraging the mistake, right? You're constantly reinforcing this mistake into your technique. So if you talk about motor learning, right, like learning, acquiring new skill, there are 3 stages to it. The first stage is beginners, right, the cognitive stage, when we have no idea what we're doing, we're analyzing, we're trying to think how to perform. We're just learning how to do obstacle, how to do the J hook, how to loop it, how to maintain tension. There's so much mistake going on, and there's so much effort on thinking about it. Stage 2 is where you start to get better at it, but you still require a lot of thinking. Where you start to remove all the mistakes, try to correct, try to perfect your technique, but there's still a lot of conscious effort on it. This is called the associative stage. Now third stage is called the autonomous stage. This is where most experts will be in, where you don't even think about obstacle. That's where minimum cognitive function required. You can think about what to have later on, or you can observe your surrounding and overcome the obstacle. So that is the expert level. That's where you want to be, but go step by step. So these are two methods that you can use to overcome the fear of obstacle, the fear of falling, improve your learning curve, being able to perform under stress. That's where the expert stage in, right? What's that? The autonomous stage is. Once you are at that level, you're just able to perform. Okay, so moving on to the Q&A session. So I got a few Q&A question, and I'm just gonna read out the question and sharing my opinion on it. So the first Q&A session is bent arm or straight arm to traverse an obstacle. So I think I talked about this in my previous video. It depends. Personally, I do not have a preference. I make a decision when I'm at the obstacle itself. Factors to consider is how tired I am. If I'm really tired and I don't wish to do the bent arm, I'll just keep a straight arm, be more efficient with my movement. But if the rings are really wet and it's a really short course, I will choose the bent arm traverse. But take note that this is not an option for most people. Because bent arm really takes a lot of strength and it burns you out. So a straight arm traverse is a lot better. Now, that being said, if you are able to perform the bent arm, I still recommend you to learn how to perform the straight arm traverse, because when you're performing a race and when you're tired and you just finish two other obstacles and you burn yourself up using a bent arm traverse, using a bent arm on the third obstacle when you're fatigued could be quite risky. So learn the straight arm so at least you have that option. Okay, so second Q&A, do we need to learn how to parkour roll? Okay, so the parkour rolling is a method to break fall. Alright, we can, when we used to do it, we will jump down from like 2 meters above, we jump down and we roll. This method helps distribute the force throughout the body and disperse the force. Okay, so instead of just absorbing everything through the legs. This is good if you're jumping from really high heights. Okay, when we talk about obstacle racing, like what are areas that we will jump down? Your monkey bar, multi-ring, twister, wall. Your feet is 50 cm off the ground. By the time you think about how to roll, you're on the ground. So it doesn't really make sense. So a better way is to do exercises like eccentric exercises, strength training, a plyometric movement, depth jump. Train your body to be able to absorb the load. This is gonna be a lot better compared to thinking of how to roll with like 0.2 seconds to react. And to be honest, when we traverse the obstacle, we don't think about falling. We think about traversing the obstacle. So it doesn't really make sense. Q&A number 3. What is the difference between HIIT and HIRT? So HIIT means high intensity interval training. HIRT is high intensity resistance training. So honestly, everybody seems to have their own definition for HIIT and HIRT. But if you look at generally the fitness industry, is HIIT appears to be more cardiovascular taxing. So high intensity, the intensity is defined as a high percentage of your maximum heart rate. So HIIT, spike your heart rate up, bring it back down, spike your heart rate up, bring it back down, spike your heart rate up, bring it back down. HIRT, high intensity resistance training. Now, by definition, intensity for resistance training is a percentage of your 1 rep max, the maximum weight you're able to perform for just 1 rep. High intensity is a high percentage. So when we talk about high HIIT, from my observation, HIRT appears to be just HIIT with a little bit of weights. So it's more like low intensity resistance training, or at best moderate intensity resistance training. Because high intensity, we're talking about 85%, 95% of the 1 rep max. That's not, in terms of definition wise, I don't think I think it's kind of very confusing. But anyway, HIRT, once again, in my opinion, advocates of it tend to promote that it's great for hypertrophy, strength, and power. From how I look at it, hypertrophy, yes. Power and strength, no, not really, especially strength. Okay, I shouldn't say no, but very unlikely. So yeah, that's my take on it. That's the difference. HIIT, cardiovascular. HIRT seems more like HIIT with a bit of weights. Yeah, so it's more, I think the correct term will be MIRT, moderate intensity resistance training instead. Alright, so that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Till then, I hope to see you guys next time. See you.